Welcome back to TTS Daily Saturday edition with me, Yi. Hopefully this will be the longest and best TTS Daily episode this week. I know production this week has been slow down to a crunch. We're going through some constraints which we will overcome very shortly. Anyway, I'm holding the mic right now because I do not want any noise dispute and people be sleeping around me. So it's nice to be considerate also. Let's kick things off. This is breaking news. A man's body was discovered stuffed inside a suitcase on October 9, 2025 in Butterworth, Penang, Malaysia, behind the Ampang Jaja flats in Jalan Permatang, Pau. So this news comes reeling after the unaliving of South Korean influencer Yoon Ji-ah, who was found stuffed in a suitcase abandoned in the mountainside. The victim in this case, in this Penang case, is an insurance agent, Daniel Lee Boon Han, 31-year-old insurance agent who described himself as an insurance content creator on social media. The discovery was made around 1:43 p.m. by a drain cleaner performing routine work near a residential block. The body showed signs of including tight hands and on the neck, with initial examinations indicating possibly a recent unaliving. A post-mortem then confirmed the cause of unaliving as suffocation. He was also found with a plastic bag over his head. So Lee's 69-year-old father reported him missing on October 8, 2025 after failing to contact him following Lee's trip. Lee allegedly left for a work-related trip to Perlis before becoming unreachable, though some reports did indicate that he was missing since October 7, 2025. The father has since identified the body at Seberang Jaya Hospital on October 10, 2025 around 9 a.m. Investigations are still ongoing with forensic team confirming recent unaliving. Our thoughts, condolences and prayers to the victim, their loved ones and their families. Are bears getting out of control in Japan? A man in his 70s was just unalive in an apparent bear attack while picking mushrooms in a forest in northern Iwate, Japan. His body showed scratch marks consistent with a bear to the attack, though the cause of unaliving is still under investigation. But that's not all, okay? So apparently this victim went missing after entering the woods on Thursday, October 9, 2025 and was found unalive later. Police in Iwate are still investigating. However, on Wednesday, October 8, 2025, another man was found unalive in a different part of Iwate with his head and torso separated. Yes, and also suspected to be from a bear to the attack. Investigations are still ongoing for both incidents, but that's not all. In Nagano, on Saturday, October 4th, 2025, the body of another 78-year-old man with multiple claw marks was found in Nagano Prefecture. Police suspect once again it could be a possible bear to the attack. If you thought that was all, no. Now, in a Gunma supermarket incident, Tuesday, October 7, 2025, a bear entered a supermarket in Gunma Prefecture north of Tokyo, injuring two men aged 69 and 76 and causing panic in the whole supermarket. Next up, in Shirakawa-go Village on October 5, 2025, Sunday, a Spanish tourist was attacked by a bear at a bus stop. Like, bro was just chilling at a bus stop. Now, in Miyagi last week around late September to early October, a woman in her 70s was found unalive, this time in a confirmed bear to the attack. Once again, she was picking mushrooms in northern Miyagi with 3 friends and 1 friend remains missing. This is similar to the man that went missing after picking mushroom in Iwate. So, more and more wild bears and wild bears to the attack are being sighted in Japan. As of October 10, official unaliving toll from bear attacks is at 6. It could be a new all-time high if the new suspected attacks are confirmed to be also bear attacks. Next. breaking news, a female drink store assistant actually got her right hand trapped in a sugarcane juicing machine. This just happened in Singapore on 10 October 2025, Friday at 6:40 PM at a 448 Market and Food Centre in Clementi. This is pretty much a new fear unlocked every time I see those stall assistant or stall holders, managing, using the sugarcane machine. I mean, they're crushing the sugarcane, but you always worry for them subconsciously, right? So people heard shouts at the food centre, initially mistaken it for like a pest problem. Could it be cockroaches or anything? But no, it was the poor assistant getting her hand trapped in the machine. SCDF, Singapore Civil Defence Force, was called and they arrived and started dismantling the machine. Approximately 2 hours later, the assistant's hand was freed, but people are wondering now, was her hand crushed? Is she alright? All we know was a paramedic administered pain relief medication and monitored her vital signs while they were, trying to get her hand free. And after that, she was conveyed to the ambulance to go to NUH, though she appeared to be in a daze. Next. Are you guys having a good time right now? Just checking in while I take a little short break. Well, next. This nursing home is under fire from netizens because of gyrating hips. So this nursing home in Anyang, Henan province, northern China, actually posted a video on its social media accounts showing a female staff member dancing in a short school uniform style miniskirt with black knee-high socks and gyrating hips in front of a seated elderly male resident to encourage him to take medication. And I think that's not the only thing they are encouraging, because his blood circulation is definitely being encouraged right here. So after the dance, another staff member then administered the pills to the seated elderly resident. I'm just wondering, does this apply for all residents that refuse to eat medication? Is that also why some nursing homes have such high premiums? Anyway, the video caption states, "Our director is doing whatever it takes to encourage the elderly residents to take their medicine." I see. So, what if gyrating hips won't do it? What if gyrating hip is not encouraging enough? Anyway, now this video has sparked outrage and debate on Chinese social media. I can't find the video. Hopefully our editors can find it and post it above here for us. And critics are now questioning the ethics, dignity and appropriateness, with one netizen commenting, "Has suggestive dancing, provocative dancing now entered the elderly care industry?" No idea, but do know that many people are commenting that such homes, they are actually pretty interested to join once they reach the age threshold to enter into such homes now. Fair warning, if you're gonna be unclothed at home, please make sure the curtains are properly drawn, and hopefully they aren't the translucent type. So this just happened in Singapore. A 41-year-old Indian national, Mr. M, who works as a construction worker in Singapore, has just been sentenced to 13 months in jail. So on April 29, 2025, around 10:30 PM, Mr. M walked past the victim's unit and saw the victim through a window. He found her attractive and decided that he wants to pay her a visit the next day. So the next day on April 30th around 11:30 PM, Mr. M parked his lorry nearby, loitered outside the unit for a while and then climbed over a ledge to the victim's balcony, watching the sleeping victim for around half an hour, and then decided to enter her bedroom and touch her toes twice. That actually woke her up. She kicked her blanket, sat up and saw the Mr. M crouched at the foot of her bed. She screamed and that got him running. She then contacted the security guard, who also contacted the authorities, the police. So most people would thought that if the suspect, the accused, was caught in the first incident, usually, who would have the tendency or gall to return back to the same scene, right? Well, on May 3rd at about 1:30 AM, Mr. M again returned. This time he stood on the balcony for 3 whole hours, watching the awake victim through her window, and during this time he committed an act. So the victim heard a sound, saw Mr. M's silhouette and contacted her security guards. Now, on May 4th, the next day before midnight, police actually arrested Mr. M, once again loitering outside the condominium because he was planning to visit her again, a return visit. I mean, how scary and alarming and frightening is this? So, I mean, the first time he was caught in the bedroom, he ran away. The second time, he stayed in the balcony for 3 whole hours. And then the third time, he was seen loitering outside the area with the intention to see the victim again for the third time. This is just totally alarming, okay? Anyway, Mr. M now has pleaded guilty to 2 counts of voyeurism and 1 count of modesty. 4 additional charges, including 2 for housebreaking, were considered during sentencing, and the court has sentenced him to 13 months jail. Once again, not just ladies, even gentlemen, if you're gonna be unclothed at home, please draw your curtains, okay? And, get the opaque ones. So even when the light is on, because if the light is on and it's a translucent curtain, I mean, people can still make out your lovely body shape. And not just that, I think you should also always lock your balconies every night, and not just locking the balcony before you sleep. I think once it's nighttime, or if you're not even going to be outside the balcony, even it's daytime, you should just lock your balcony, okay? And this is like another new fear unlocked again. Maybe we would also want to consider installing like CCTVs for our balconies right now. So on October 10, 2025, a proposed class action lawsuit was filed in California federal court against Apple Incorporated by neuroscientists Susana Martinez Conde and Stephen McNick, who are professors at SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University in Brooklyn, New York. The plaintiffs allege that Apple misused thousands of copyrighted books, including their own works, Champions of Illusion, the science behind mind-boggling images and mystifying brain puzzles, and Sleights of Mind, what the neuroscience of magic reveals about our everyday deceptions, by using so-called illegal shadow libraries, or should we say pirated book collection, of pirated books and other infringing materials scrapped from the internet to train its Apple Intelligence AI model. This is your last story of the day. Follow us for more. So viewers have been always asking us to, feature more on AI stories, and we are starting with this story, covering a bit more on the AI landscape and the ongoing lawsuits by AI models who allegedly train their AI based on unauthorized data use. So this lawsuit follows a separate lawsuit filed last month by another group of authors accusing Apple of similar misuse of their works for AI training. Apple spokespeople did not immediately respond to requests for comment on the complaint. Spokesperson for the plaintiffs and their attorney also did not respond. For context, Apple Intelligence is a suite of AI-powered features integrated into iOS devices like the iPhone and the iPad. The day after Apple introduced Apple Intelligence, the company's value increased by more than $200 billion, described in a lawsuit as the single most lucrative day in the history of the company. This lawsuit is just part of a numerous high-stakes case by copyright owners such as authors, news outlet, music labels against tech companies such as OpenAI, Microsoft, Meta, and more for unauthorized use of works in AI training. For more context, Anthropic just settled a similar lawsuit from authors over its Claude chatbot for $1.5 billion in August 2025, which is about 3,000 USD per work. So in Anthropic case in June 2025, a US district judge ruled that Anthropic's use of copyrighted books while training its Claude AI was fair use due to its transformative nature, not replacing original works. However, the company was found liable for storing pirated copies in a central library separate from training. As such, Anthropic settled a class action lawsuit with 500,000 authors and publishers for $1.5 billion, which is 3,000 USD per work, which is currently the largest US copyright payout ever. For more context, in Meta's case in June 2025, a federal judge dismissed copyright claims against Meta by 13 authors, ruling no infringement because plaintiffs failed to prove market harm to their works from AI training, and Meta argued fair use, but the decision noted potential issues with pirated data sources remain unresolved. OpenAI also asserts that training on publicly available internet materials is fair use, supported by precedents, and is lobbying the US government to codify these for AI development, though the company faces scrutiny for using paywall and copyrighted data with internal messages reference piracy sites like LimGen. And as of now, OpenAI is still defending multiple suits Without settlements, courts have ordered inspection of training data to check for copyrighted works, but access is limited and remote, slowing processes. Google too has also been pushing for classifying AI training on copyrighted data as fair use and calls for relaxed restrictions on publicly available data to accelerate AI growth, and Google is part of at least 51 total AI lawsuits involving ongoing copyright cases in 2025. So across major companies, fair use is the primary defense, but piracy in data sourcing increase liability risks. So if the courts side with creators, companies might have to pay billions for data licenses, making AI more expensive or slower to develop. If fair use wins big, it could boost innovation but leave creators feeling kind of ripped off. Crime occurring at 5 AM on September 28, 2025, then police begin tracking him immediately, identifying his movements through video evidence. He was finally arrested on 1st October 2025 around 9:30 AM. Now, the gold shop owner claims 4 kilograms of gold missing. That is roughly around 946,000 Singapore dollars worth.